My name is Starleen. I use she, her pronouns. I live currently in Blaine, Washington. The name of my organization is the Washington State Community Connectors, of which I am the Vice President on the Board of Directors. I am also Tri-Chair on the North Sound Family Youth Systems Roundtables, again within Washington State. My role in creating well-being and equity within my communities across Washington State is these are both leadership roles, so a lot of it includes strategic planning, being able to engage communities authentically and meaningfully, and what that actually means in the first place when I'm working with people across the Board of Directors as well as across leaders within Washington State. So one of the biggest problems we're working on in the state of Washington, in my mind, is that we have collected data, we have collected generalized data, but we have not engaged our communities, or people coming from community, by community, for community. That level of information we have not been able to glean in a real meaningful way, and so this is what we're currently working on. What that looks like is taking a syndemic approach, and syndemic, all that means is synergizing of epidemics. That also includes social vulnerabilities, comorbidities, as well as underlying co-occurring conditions. So the way we are addressing it, especially amongst people with lived experiences, or those who have been working against stigma, or those who've been geographically displaced, is convening planning groups and convening leadership groups, and inviting them, setting the table and inviting them to our tables to be able to have these conversations in a meaningful way. I promote human-centered design. I believe in actually having, when I do my community engagement, I actually have the people lead that trajectory, finding that North Star. And what that looks like through my lens and my practice is to me it's setting a buffet table and being able to be transparent and authentic in communicating all the different elements of what we're working on, and inviting my members, inviting community to come in and look at the pieces that we're sharing, and we're happy to share in that transparency, so that they can, one, keep us accountable to the work, and two, be able to co-design and co-create with us those initiatives that will help multiple, different and intergenerational families across the state of Washington. And it's really interesting because it will, as we all know, it does look different depending on what area of the state you might be in. Urban versus rural, people speaking different languages. Another piece that I'm intentional on focusing on when I engage with my communities is, addressing that new trend of plain speak. I actually contextualize. Plain speak, I find that plain speak will actually downgrade language, and all we need to do is find the common language. I promote common language, and what that looks like is not introducing terms that only exist in the English language and are trending at this time, and then will be outdated in a couple years from now. I will find words that will actually translate into different languages, and use that language when communicating with people whose first languages may not be the English language. A critical challenge I would like to share with you, and how I personally moved through it, was actually when I first started working at a high level. So this is across the state of Washington, with different personalities and different people coming from different lived experiences. One, I was very intentional when we convened this group to have people representing the entirety of Washington State, east of the Cascades, west of the Cascades, people from different demographics, different cultural backgrounds, different abilities. I actually had a member who, in the application process, was getting very stressed out with the question and answer format, and so what I invited them to do was submit their artwork. They were an artist, and they submitted their artwork based on how they felt, how they could represent the group. And so I am always open to accessibility. I'm very aware and cognizant of it. And other ways that I've addressed it is providing one-to-one conversations with people. In my meetings, not only can you respond verbally, you can have cameras, and these are group decisions actually, I shouldn't say I, this is more of a we statement, because with my planning group, all members have a say in being able to design and implement all elements of leadership and ownership in this group. And so verbalize, they can offer pieces of art. I also have a new member who actually, to be part of the steering committee, shared a poem in their native language, in Chinese, and then translated it for those who were selecting the applications to candidates for the steering group. Another way I've addressed this is those with different lived experiences, such as I have members who have past criminal records. I also have members who are active substance users, and so it's just finding those workarounds in my mind that makes it far more meaningful and less limiting. Removing those barriers to have authentic engagement is bringing your authentic self, but also at the same time being trauma informed and understanding, helping everyone within that group understand that we may be activating or triggering others, and so how can we collectively find that lowest common denominator, using grade 5 math here, right? Finding that lowest common denominator that we can all build upon, that where people can feel like they are in a safe space. And so I'm actually also happy to say that this group has reached the level of federal notice, and they have also presented at that level. The impact from having community voice, community communication, because all communication is different, behaviors are communication. The impact, though, that we are actually seeing at this point in time is not only authentic and meaningful engagement, but we're also having truly decisions that are being made by community for community. And I'd like to go back to ADA's nothing about us without us is for us. And that's actually the group's, one of their credos or mottos, being able to move forward and impact community in a meaningful way, is ensuring that community voice is heard by, one, having safe space conversations who are led by community members, for community members, as well as we incentivize community engagement. If we are going to be asking you for your points of view and your subject matter expertise and your lived experience, we will offer, and that was also constructed by the community group. We all, designed and implemented a reimbursement or stipend process that the community felt that was of value to them. My name is Starleen, and I'm working on being a better ancestor.